Recently, Sarah hit a wall trying to communicate with her partner. It's a frustrating situation we've all been in. So today, we are going to explore exactly how to communicate with people so you actually get the results you want. Welcome to Love in Our Littles. In this space, we use psychology to decode and crack the everyday problems life throws at you, one by one. So, Sarah, you were saying you laid everything out for him.
Yes, I don't get it, Lynn. I literally laid out all the benefits. I told him, if we move in together, we save on rent, we get more time together, it makes sense. And he just completely shut down.
Right, because you told him what he was going to get.
Yeah, isn't that how you sell an idea?
No, that's how you lose an argument. Human beings don't actually care about what they gain, Sarah. They are terrified. They are terrified of what they might lose.
Okay, that actually makes sense.
So when you're trying to convince someone, like your partner with the moving in thing, you don't sell the upside. Look, I used to do this with, let's just say guys with commitment issues. Scoff slightly, the absolute worst. Right? Everyone tells them, oh, marriage is great, you get a family, you get stability. And in their head, they're thinking, are you kidding? I get a mortgage, less freedom, and 20 years of stress. I'm fine right here.
Exactly. That is exactly what he does.
But what if you frame it as a loss? If you say, look, if you stay closed off, you are going to lose out on the single most profound, enduring experience of human connection. Okay, that hits totally different. It does. Now, about locking in their attention when you say it, there's a specific trick. Actually, it works 100% of the time. The trick is, wait, what is it? See? You couldn't just let it go, could you? Well, yeah, you stopped right in the middle of the point. Exactly. That is the Zeigarnik effect. Our brains literally hate unfinished business. Unfinished tasks hold our attention way more than finished ones. So when you're talking to him and you feel his attention drifting, you don't get louder. You just cut the sentence in half.
You just stop talking?
Yes, you let him sit in that silence until he literally begs you to finish. It changes the dynamic from you pushing an idea to him pulling it out of you. Okay, that is really smart. But what if we aren't even arguing? What if it's just everyday stuff, like trying to get him to actually decide on dinner for once? Oh, well, that's where you have to stop giving him actual free will. Wait, what? I'm serious. Getting someone to listen is one thing, but getting them to commit to an action, that's a whole different game. And that comes down to a technique called a presupposition. Actually, let me just show you. Hey, for dinner this Saturday, are we doing that new Italian place or Mexican? Oh, definitely Mexican. I've been craving tacos all week. Mexican it is. But, pause for a second. Did we ever actually make plans to hang out this Saturday? Wait, no, we didn't. You didn't even ask me if I was free. Exactly. I didn't ask if you wanted to go out. I just pre-installed Saturday dinner as a fact. That's the presupposition. I gave you a limited menu, Italian or Mexican, and you picked. You didn't even question the premise.
Oh my God, I didn't even question the Saturday part. I just went straight to the food.
Because human brains take the path of least resistance. You give it a menu, it picks from the menu. It works in the office too. You don't ask a coworker, when can you send me this report? You ask, hey, for this report, is it easier for you to send it at 4 p.m. or 6 p.m.?
6 p.m., definitely 6.
And they feel like they won. Exactly. You presupposed the same-day delivery and you gave them a limited menu to pick from. Boom, you get exactly what you want.
Okay, I am taking notes. This is crazy. Just tweaking a few words changes everything.
It does, but here's the crazy part. It's not just the words you use. Sometimes it's literally the physical environment, like the temperature of the coffee they're holding when you ask them.
Wait, what? Coffee?
What does coffee have to do with getting a yes? Oh, everything. It actually wires their brain to...
Wires their brain because of a coffee? Lynn, come on.
I am dead serious. Yale University actually did a study on this. It's called the priming effect. They found out that whether you're holding an iced coffee or a hot coffee, like right before you meet someone, it completely changes your attitude toward them.
Okay, how? If I have an iced latte, I'm just caffeinated and cold.
Right, but your brain doesn't separate the physical from the emotional. So if you're holding an iced coffee, you actually judge the other person as colder, more selfish, less social. But if you're holding a warm cup,
Wait, you think they have a warm personality?
yes, you become more open, more generous, more accommodating. Because to your subconscious, warm is just warm. It doesn't care if it's the coffee or the person. It's the same with chairs, by the way.
Chairs?
Oh, yeah. If you sit in a hard, rigid chair during a negotiation, you will literally be more stubborn and rigid.
Okay, so note to self, always hand my boss a hot tea and sit him on a plush sofa before asking for a raise.
Exactly. But, and this is the crucial part, you can do this with words too. Verbal priming. If you want someone to do a high-risk, difficult task, what do you usually say to them?
Good luck? Or like, don't mess this up.
Yeah, which primes them for anxiety. Instead, you give them the label before they've even earned it. You say, I'm giving this to you because you are one of the most reliable and trustworthy people here.
Oh, so you're kind of speaking it into existence.
You are priming their identity, even if they aren't actually that reliable, because you keep emphasizing the word trustworthy, their brain adopts it. They're like, well, I guess I'm the trustworthy guy now.
Fake it till they make it. That's wow. But what if they push back? What if they're like, no, I can't do this. It's impossible.
Okay, this is so important. When someone pushes back or gives you a negative opinion, what is the absolute worst thing you can do?
Tell them they're wrong?
Yes, never ever deny them. Let's go extreme. Let's say someone comes to you and says, life is completely meaningless. If you say, no, it's not, you're being dramatic. What did you just do?
I mean, I disagreed with their point.
No, you didn't just deny the point. You denied their cognition. You basically just told them your brain is broken and you are stupid. Oh God, yeah. When you put it like that, people hate that. They get so defensive. Exactly. Nobody wants to be treated like an idiot. If you deny them, they will push you away forever. So if you want to change someone's mind, you have to start with absolute affirmation. Even if they're saying something crazy, like, I want to quit my job and move to the woods, especially then. You validate it first, but then you use what's called Socratic guiding. Socratic, like the philosopher? Yeah. Instead of saying, that's a terrible idea, you ask questions that lead them to see the flaws. You guide them so that they eventually come up with the better solution themselves. Because think about it. If it's their idea, they won't fight it. Bingo! It's not me rejecting you, it's you finding your own way. People will defend their own ideas to the death. But getting them to agree is one thing. Sometimes you just need them to do a favor. And there is literally one single word. Just one. One word? One word that bumps the compliance rate of any request from 60% up to 94%, even if your reason is complete, utter garbage. Lynn, stop doing the pause thing. It started with a copy machine. A copy machine? You're telling me a printer holds the secret to getting people to do what I want? Specifically, people waiting in line to use a copy machine. This is a famous Harvard study by Ellen Langer. They had someone try to cut in line. First, they just asked, "Excuse me, I have 5 pages. May I use the Xerox machine?" And let me guess, people told them to go to the back of the line. About 60% let them in. Not terrible, right? But then they tried it again, and they added one word. They said, "May I use the Xerox machine because I'm in a rush?" Oh, because. Well, yeah, that makes sense. They gave a reason. Exactly. The compliance rate shot up to 94%. But here is where it gets absolutely insane. They did a third test. They asked, "May I use the Xerox machine because I have to make copies?" Wait, what? That makes zero sense. Because I have to make copies isn't even a real excuse. They're literally just stating the obvious. Exactly. But it doesn't matter because they aren't actually analyzing your logic. It's an automatic brain response. The moment we hear the word because, our brain just goes, oh, okay, they provided a reason. Check the box, request approved. It's a reflex. You can use it for anything. Like, let's go extreme. Let's say I told you, I'm going to eat this piece of printer paper. I'd say you need therapy. Right, but what if I said, I'm going to eat this printer paper because it has the exact same texture as a Thin Mint? Okay, I'd still think you're crazy, but for like half a second, my brain would be like, wait, does it? Exactly. You had to pause and think about it. Even if the reason is completely pale and ridiculous, it forces the other person's brain to process the justification. It works in real life, too. Let's say your friend calls you, and she's like, I'm divorcing my husband. Oh my God. I'd be like, wait, what? You just got married. You can't just throw it away like that. Right. Instant resistance. But what if she says, I'm divorcing him because he doesn't love me? Oh, well, I mean, yeah, that's a good reason. Is it, though? I mean, it's marriage. Who said there's love in marriage? Come on. Lynn! That is so cynical. I'm joking. But do you see how the because instantly diffused your resistance? Even if the reason is highly subjective or kind of flimsy, it immediately boosts your persuasive power. Always give a reason. Always. Okay, so I drop a because and I'm golden. Well, yes and no. It works for requests, but what if you're trying to explain a big concept? Like, what if you're trying to give advice? Oh, people hate advice. They just get defensive. Exactly. What is the number one thing people hate today? We call it being preachy. Or, mansplaining, parent-splaining, whatever. If you just lay out logical facts, even if you're 100% right, they will shut you out.
So how do you tell someone they're making a mistake without sounding like their dad?
You use what psychologists call narrative transportation. You stop giving them bullet points and you start telling them a story. Let's say my friend is about to get married, and I want to warn her. I can't just walk up to her and say, hey, your marriage is going to have 9 major risks.
Oh my God, no, she would slap you.
Exactly. She'd slap me in the face because she'd be thinking, who the hell just comes up and curses my marriage like that?
Right, it's so offensive.
But what if I tell a story instead? What if I say, oh my God, did you hear about Ivy? She literally eloped in a flash, and guess what happened? The whole thing turned into an absolute shit show, just a complete disaster. What? What happened with Ivy? Look at you, you're totally hooked. And as I tell you the juicy details of Ivy's disaster of a marriage, my underlying message that rushing into marriage is dangerous is sneaking right past your defenses. Wow, because I'm so focused on the drama of the story, I don't even realize I'm absorbing your point. You're completely disarmed. They're basically swallowing the medicine because you hid it inside a piece of cheese. That is so manipulative, but I love it. Okay, but what if they're already freaking out? Like, what if I can't tell a story because they're currently screaming at me? Ah, the emotional meltdown. Yeah, logic definitely doesn't work there. But there's a technique the FBI uses in hostage negotiations.
Okay, but seriously, what if they're already screaming? If my partner is having a full-blown meltdown about, I don't know, me working too late, I can't just start telling a story about Ivy's marriage. They'd kill me.
Yeah, please don't do that. When someone is in an emotional spiral, their amygdala, the emotion center of the brain, is basically on fire. Logic is locked out. You cannot reason with fire.
Right. So what's the FBI trick? Do I just surrender?
No, you use what Chris Voss, the former lead FBI hostage negotiator, calls emotional labeling. It sounds incredibly simple, but it's basically a magic trick. When they are freaking out, you don't argue the facts. You just calmly name the emotion they're feeling. So if they're yelling, "This isn't fair, you never help out," I just say,
What? You seem angry?
Exactly. But the phrasing is key. You say, "It sounds like you feel things are really unfair right now." Or, "It seems like you are extremely overwhelmed." Doesn't that sound kind of robotic, like a therapist? It might feel that way to you, but to a brain on fire, it's a fire extinguisher. The moment you name the emotion out loud, it forces their brain to observe itself. They step outside of the rage for a split second to evaluate what you just said. And in that second, their amygdala calms down.
Oh, so it forces them back into the rational part of their brain. Yes, it's wild to watch the literally deflate in front of you and say, yes, I am overwhelmed, but you can also use this for evil.
I knew it. Okay, hit me.
If someone is being a total jerk to you, say making condescending remarks, you can just look them dead in the eye, perfectly calm, and label that.
Oh my God.
Like, you seem really insecure right now. Yes, or it sounds like you have a very low understanding of this. Just say it clinically, don't yell. Watch them absolutely lose their minds. They will start backflipping, breathing fire, trying to defend themselves.
Oh, that is so toxic. I love it. You just hijack their brain. You take the steering wheel. But look, whether you use these tools to de-escalate a fight or to secure a favor or just to mess with a toxic coworker, there is one final rule. If you mess this up, everything we just talked about is useless. Okay, no pressure. What is it? It's the peak end rule. Basically, when human beings remember an experience, we don't remember the whole thing like a video recording. Our brains are too lazy for that. We only remember 2 moments: the emotional peak, the highest or lowest point, and the very end. Just the end. The last few seconds. Think about a horrible movie you watched, but the twist ending was mind-blowing. You tell people that movie was awesome. Oh my God, yes, or a great date that ends with a really awkward goodbye. It ruins the whole night. Exactly. So in any conversation, in any negotiation, you cannot control the peak. You don't know when the emotional high point will hit, but you have 100% control over the end. So how should it end? Respect. Absolute, undeniable respect. I don't care if you just spent 30 minutes tearing each other apart. In the last 10 seconds, you shake their hand. You look them in the eye. You say, "I really appreciate you taking the time to talk this through with me." If it's formal, you give a slight bow. Even if I'm secretly using all these psychological tricks on them, especially then, because they won't remember the tricks. They will just walk away with this lingering feeling of, wow, I really like that person. They made me feel respected. And sometimes a lasting first impression is the only thing standing between you and a massive opportunity. Standing between you and a massive opportunity. So, never mess up the goodbye. Wait a second. Lynn, are you doing it right now? Doing what? The peak end thing. You're setting up the end of the episode to be all warm and respectful so the viewers like you. I mean, look, it works, doesn't it? Oh my God, you are literally playing the audience. Hey, I am just respecting their time. But seriously, Sarah, thank you so much for sitting down with me today. I really genuinely appreciate you letting me, test all these psychological tricks on you. Anytime, Lynn. I'm literally going to use the because trick on my boss tomorrow, so wish me luck. Oh, you're gonna need it. And for everyone watching, if you found yourself nodding along today, or if you are officially terrified of iced coffee now, hit subscribe. Leave a comment down below with the word because, so I know you made it to the end. I'm Lynn, this is Love in Our Littles, and I will see you next week. Bye!
Bye!